Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a story time. I haven't done one of those in a while. Nothing crazy has happened, and then just randomly I forgot that I went through this experience 4 years ago, and I just thought I'd make a video out of it. So as you can tell from the title of the video, I was in a really bad car accident with my grandma and my brother 4 years ago on March 31st, I think. It was a Monday. It was a day that I did not have school. I think it was like Labor Day, Columbus Day, one of those days. And I had just started working at my first job. And at the time I didn't drive. I had just turned 18, so I didn't have my license yet. And I was getting a ride to work from my grandma. And my brother was in the back seat. I was in the passenger seat and my grandma was driving. And we were at an intersection where we had to turn left to go onto the freeway. And when we got to the intersection, we waited at the light, and then our light turned green. So we were turning left, and this giant truck, I don't know what model or make it was, but it was a giant truck, and it just T-boned the crap out of our car. I wish I had a picture. The car was completely totaled. That was probably one of the most traumatizing experiences I've ever been in, just because when it happened, all I remember is, because obviously when we turned left, the car came at us and just hit us, and all I remember is seeing the car come straight at us. I'm yelling for my grandma, and then the car just hits us. And I remember looking in the back seat, and my brother was unconscious, and I didn't know what to think. I started freaking out. I started crying. He wasn't responding. I was shaking him like a rag doll. He wasn't responding to me. He had glass in his hair from the windows. He had glass everywhere. He was bleeding. It was really, really bad. And just imagining something happening to my brother, I lost it. I couldn't stop crying. I didn't want to stop shaking him until he opened his eyes or he said something to me. And obviously people were around. They saw what happened and they called the ambulance, and then the ambulance came. I remember I called my dad. He was at work, and I told him we were in an accident. We just got hit. And he left his job, and I told him what hospital they were going to take us to, just in case he didn't make it to the scene of the accident. And he tried to get there as fast as he could. I remember I called Julio, I called Julio's mom, I called my mom, I called my stepdad. It was really scary, and just knowing that Antonio was unconscious, that scared the living crap out of me, because I never want anything to happen to my little brother. And I remember when the ambulance got there, they took my brother out of the car. They put him on a gurney. They were asking him questions. And then I remember I got out of the car, the one we were in when we were driving, and I walked up to the guy who hit us. He was drunk. He was a drunk driver, and he was driving. And all he could say to me was, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And I was just crying, and I told him I needed his license number and his insurance information and all that. And then when I was walking back to my grandma from talking to the guy, the firefighters showed up, and one of them came up to me and he asked me if I was with him, and I said no, I was with the car that got hit. And he was like, "Okay, well, how are you feeling? Do you feel okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I feel fine. I'm scared about my brother. He's unconscious. I don't know what happened to him." And they're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna take care of him." And I don't know what they said, but they basically said that they were gonna make sure I was okay. So I remember, because where the accident happened was near an overpass, so I remember the truck that hit us, he basically parked or stopped under the overpass, and then there was like a big like hill with like weeds and stuff, and I was on the phone with somebody like letting them know what happened, and the firefighter just grabbed my phone and threw it like on the hill. And then I was like, oh, I need my phone to like let people know like what's happening. And then they were like we'll give you your phone, like don't worry. And then they like put me on a gurney, and then they start asking me questions like, who's the president, what's today's date, what city are we in, what state do you live in, like just basic questions to make sure like I was okay. And I responded to all of them, but they still like, they took me to the hospital in the gurney. And me and my brother were put in the same ambulance because I was like freaking out. I didn't want to be separated from my brother. And before the ambulance got there, I remember I called my work because I was on my way to work, and I told them that I just got in a car accident. It was really bad. My brother's unconscious, and I told them I would be late. And they said, like, don't worry about it. Don't even bother coming in. Like, take care of yourself and all that. And I mean, in my head, I thought like making it to work was more important than making sure I was okay. And obviously it's not the case. I'm glad that they thought that my health was more important than me showing up to work. So yeah, and then after me and my brother got in the ambulance, we made it to, because I live in the Bay Area, the hospital they took us to was SF General, so we ended up staying there. My brother had like MRI scans, CAT scans, like all that to make sure he was okay because he got hit in the head. And he ended up being okay. Since I wasn't like that injured, all I had was whiplash, like from the seatbelt. But it was so funny because we were in the ambulance, and like whenever something happens and they need to like, I don't even know what they did, I guess put those little like sticker things on you to make sure you're okay. I had my work shirt on because I was going to work, and one of the what are they called? One of the ambulance people, he was almost about to cut my shirt, and I was like, can you like not cut my shirt please, because it's my only work shirt. I felt so embarrassed saying that, but it was true because I had just started working. And then like I was like laying on the gurney, and I was struggling because it was a long sleeve. It was like a button up long sleeve. I was struggling to like unbutton it and like get my arms out, and oh my god. But yeah, he didn't cut my shirt, luckily. But yeah, so that happened. We went to the hospital. My brother got all those like tests done. He was fine. My grandma was fine, like not a scratch on her, thank God, because you never know in those situations how an impact could affect a person. So I'm glad in that situation me and my brother took the hit. I wish I took more of the hit, that way my brother wouldn't have had that like head injury. But yeah, my brother got hit in the head, and then I got whiplash. My grandma was fine, like nothing, she didn't get hurt at all, which was amazing. And yeah, so after that, I'm not really sure what happened after. I remember that I stayed at the hospital for a few hours just to like, for them to observe me to make sure I was like okay to leave. But I remember my brother stayed overnight. I don't know, I think it was like a couple nights, like 2 or 3 nights he stayed at the hospital just to make sure he was okay, and that nothing was like nothing formed, or there was like, you know, bleeding or anything like that. So yeah, he ended up being fine. I'm fine, my grandma's fine, everything's fine. It's just having to have gone through that. I'm so traumatized of being in a car accident. And even if it's like a fender bender, like just the fact that I'm driving and another car hits me, or when there's idiot drivers who like, you know, blow a stop, blow a light, they're not paying attention, they're on their phone texting, like just drivers like that give me so much anxiety. Like my trauma level is like here. Like I'm I mean, I'm gonna basically say I have PTSD from that accident, because I do. Every time I drive by that intersection, it always reminds me of the accident. And I'm just grateful like nobody got hurt, because I don't know what I would have done if somebody did. I'm not gonna cry. Make sure you know what's going on around your surroundings, and don't be an idiot. Don't text and drive. Don't look one way when you're driving another. Like, make sure you know what's going on around you, because you never know what could happen. And in this case, don't drink and drive, because idiots like that, he could have easily killed me or my brother or my grandma. Luckily, all of us walked out with, you know, some bruises, some scratches. I think I'm not sure if he's still in jail, but I know he went to jail obviously for that. But just like knowing that that's such a common thing now, just to be texting and driving, drinking and driving, like, people should really be more considerate of others and know that they're putting their own lives and other people's lives in danger when they do stupid crap like that. So, but yeah, so that I went through that, and it was really traumatizing. And the thing that, I mean, it doesn't really suck, so to speak, but the intersection where it happened, it's like 3 minutes away from my house. So I live on one side of the city where I live, and to basically get to like anything on the other side of the city, I have to pass by that intersection, because that's like the quickest way to go. So just like, it's kind of hard. I usually don't let it get to me. Like, I'll drive by it, and I won't like get emotional every time I drive by it, but it'll remind me of what happened, because it happened 4 years ago, but it feels like it just happened. And yeah, so not a fun time. Probably will affect me for the rest of my life, unfortunately. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys, because not only is it something I went through, something my brother and my grandma went through, but just like a thing that happens, and it kind of it like ruins driving for others, because you're just trying to get from one place to another, and then stuff like that happens. Lives could end, and your car's gone. Like, and then that, in the case of the guy, he went to jail. So, and he has a DUI on his record. So I don't know why he would risk that. And it was 11 in the morning. He was drunk at 11 in the morning. So yeah, kind of depressing, but yeah, that's my story time for today. Very kind of serious, but I just wanted to share that with you guys, because it's like a major event, I would say, that happened to me, so worth making story time out of it. So I hope you guys like the story time. If it got to you, if you, hopefully none of you have ever been in something like that, or will ever be in something like that, because I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. If you have any thoughts, comments, anything, leave them in the comment section. And subscribe if you guys haven't. I will leave my social media below, which is the same name as my channel. IAmNikkieG on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. And I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.